something completely different.
Whoa! Happy Hot Topic!
What's going on with Kayla Nicole? Oh, she's just a blah, a blah, a blah. This woman just wants to run her mouth about everybody, but then doesn't like when people respond to it. When you run your mouth, people respond.
Because of who he started to date.
I love this. Angel Reese doesn't even want to address Travis Kelce dating Taylor Swift. You guys are grown-ass women. Say the name. Your ex, Travis Kelce, is banging out Taylor Swift. Just say it.
The negativity, the negativity from her fan club or her fans have affected you?
You're lying. Whenever a woman or a person, not just a woman, but a lot of times women, when it takes them a long time to answer, if it takes them a long time to answer a question, that's because they're trying to think of what to say because they're lying. Answer it already.
I would be lying if I said that level of hate and just like online chaos doesn't impact me. It does.
Oh, poor baby. It's almost like when you talk about the most famous football player right now, people are going to respond, oh, but we shouldn't respond to you because you're a narcissist and you make everything about you and you've never gone 50-50 on any bills and you wonder why the famous football player dumped you? You sound like a real catch. I bet you don't even make dinner. Oh, I'm too tired. It's my time of the month.
Yeah.
Even to this day.
Yeah. So you still experience it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You could go to my most recent post and it will be people debating each other why I am worthless and I'll never be a talented person. And
this is where I think she's talking about what I said because she blocked me on social. All these things is what I said.
Never be a talented person and
You're not.
I have no career. And
You're not. All you talk about is Travis. Can you imagine if I talked about my ex-girlfriend all day?
I'm a bum and just...
But what was the reason for that?
The reason for it, Angel, is because all you guys talk about is men because you have nothing. This is the same Angel Reese. I'm not a sex object. Yeah, you go dressing up, walking around like you're going to the club to have sex in the bathroom.
You left with Grace. I don't feel like there...
You didn't leave with Grace. If you left with Grace, you wouldn't talk about it. I left my last relationship with Grace. And I'm not using this as an example to talk about like my ex, but I never responded publicly about it because I wish her nothing but the best. Kayla Nicole should have done the same thing. Leaving with Grace is not responding. All you've done is talk about him. And when you've done sports reports on this awful show you do, at the same time, you can't even say his name. You're not over him. Go find another lineman to have sex with.
It has nothing to do with me. I don't know. I think that there's something about that level of fame that attracts crazy people.
You wanted it. You wanted to be famous. And this is what you get. And also, if you were to not talk about it, you wouldn't give people content. People talk crap about me all day long. I read the comment, I give it a heart, and then I mute them or I go on with my day. When you talk about people all day long and then people talk about you, that's what's going to happen. You got to move on at some time. I know you don't have any redeeming talent and all you have is talking about Travis. You're living in the past because you're washed up. You're in your 30s. You're starting to get old. Your clock is ticking. You're like, I got to have a kid sometime, but I can't find a lineman or a football player to pay for everything because I don't have that much money.
And it's unfortunate because I've never done anything to warrant that kind of...
Yes, you have. You've talked about men over and over. That's enough to warrant it. Can you imagine? I do the same thing. I respond to Kayla talking about men, and everybody goes, oh, you're sexist, you're rude. She wouldn't piss on you if she's on fire, blah, blah, blah. But when she does it, she's being a feminist? Shut up.
Backlash, but...
Would you ever get in a public relationship again, though?
Yeah, if some football player's like, hey, come on over, you'd be riding it.
I don't see myself doing that anytime soon.
Oh, you will. You have an NBA player hit you up, maybe like a LaMelo Ball in Charlotte that once an older woman. You're in your 30s. You're like 31. Oh, you'll be dating an NBA player soon. I see it. I see her sideline at a Hornets game, hanging out with LaMelo, or maybe Zion Williamson because she likes beefy players, hanging out in New Orleans. Stop talking.
No,
Yeah.
I absolutely don't. And I just think ultimately it's kind of like people can't pick at what they don't know about. You
What do we not know about?
know what I mean? Like I would just protect my relationships from here on out.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So you're never going to ever take pictures about breakups. And if you do date a famous person again, you're not going to talk about it on podcast? Come on now. This is all you've talked about for the last 4 months. It's ridiculous. Do you have anything? Go watch a football game and write down notes and do a sports podcast. Even Mia Khalifa did that. People can say what they want about Mia Khalifa. Mia Khalifa, and I'm not comparing a porn star to Kayla Nicole. Maybe you could make money that way. But Mia Khalifa literally went from doing porn, never did it again, and all of a sudden she was a sports analyst, and people were like, oh, we're not going to take you seriously. And all she did was put out sports content. I don't think she's doing it anymore, but Mia Khalifa is an example of talking about something and then moving on from it. Kayla's like, oh, I want to move on from it. And then you keep talking about it because you have nothing. You truly don't have anything. Nothing at all.
Yeah. I don't want to deal with it ever again. And then too, like if we break up, I don't have to deal with what that looks like.
I know.
I know. I'm Angel Reese. I get mad when Kayla Clark, who's the pretty white girl, gets all the attention, and I'm the villain. And yeah, my stats are pretty good. But if you look deeply at them, 9 of my rebounds every game are because like I miss all the open layups because I'm more busy trying to be like Paul George, doing a podcast rather than playing games. Shut up. And then people will be like, oh, you're mean. I'm speaking the truth. I am here speaking the truth because no one else wants to do it anymore.
Because now, like, you're a sports analyst. You still have to kind of talk about him. I saw your little...
Okay, so then you talk about it. Congratulations. He's probably number 1 or number 2 best tight end ever. It's either between him, Gronkowski, and Tony Gonzalez. He's going to be talked about. This is such the babying millennial Gen Z mindset. Oh, I gotta talk about my ex. Shut up. Do you want to be respected? Then don't make it out to be a victim. Stop it.
Monday night
God,
thing.
yeah, yesterday that was a thing too. Which
Is it?
And I
feel like you're professional though. Like you keep it professional.
Oh, if she kept it professional, she wouldn't be talking about her ex. She would be on the podcast going, hey, Angel, did you see the Chiefs game? Hey, Angel, did you see the Seahawks game? But you're talking about your personal life because you have nothing because you peaked already.
But they're going to blow it up.
Absolutely.
Any single...
All right, enough of these cackling hens. All right, so we have that clip. I just wanted to refresh you guys on everything. And now here is Angel Reese saying her mom was offended by podcast backlash. Aw, you got one fan and your mom.
The identity that you have, everybody else will source it through the comments. This person said this person says that. That has influence on
It's the I Am Athlete Daily podcast.
your belief of who I am.
Yeah. But does it matter? Why do I care what they... I know who I am.
Well, but again, go ahead.
Can I interject?
Yes, go ahead.
Because I think both things can be true. There's an extent to where the comments, likes, the dislikes.
Kayla, I know I've ripped into you the last 4 months and it's given me a lot of listens, so thank you. Listen to me. When you talk about haters, you give it power. You give people like us that can't stand how fake and how attention-seeking and how lame you are. You give us power. Oh, that bothers me. You're feeding the trolls. Stop it. Grow up. Grow up.
Don't matter. And you have to be a very mentally sound, tough person to be
Well, you're not.
able to block out that noise. And I think as an athlete who's experienced that their whole life, it probably comes a little bit easier for you, second nature. And to your point, as someone who wears the title of influencer, there is a part of me that cares about how I'm influenced.
What are you influencing? Talking about your exes all day? I wear the title as influencer. True influencers don't have to tell us that they're influencers. I wear the title as influencers because I got money, because I probably came from money and I've dated athletes, so it's made me famous. What are you influencing? Other girls to never be the problem? And it's always the man's fault? What are you influencing?
Influencing people and what they think of me and what they have to say of me. So looking back on my decisions, even recently, sitting down and doing a podcast, I felt like there were moments where I articulated myself in a really good way, and then there were moments where if I could go back, I would maybe change the way that I said things. Because
Duh, because you are living in the past and you're still doing it right now. Talk about sports. It's embarrassing at this point. It's pathetic. This is all you have is Travis. How does that feel, Kayla? That without Travis Kelce, you are nothing. You can prove me wrong and do a sports podcast. You could be doing so much more with your life. I don't even think you know sports, to be honest, because you're on a sports podcast. You're supposedly a sideline reporter. Where have we seen this? Show me do something. Oh my God. You could do so much more with your life, but you talk about the haters because you have nothing. Break down the game for us. Anything, truly anything else but talking about Travis and the haters. Stop it. You are proving to me why I said you have nothing. If you were doing a podcast where you have the guy and you're introducing clips and you're talking about the X's and O's, maybe then I would go, yeah, you've moved on and you're able to talk about Travis without making it awkward. But this is all you have. It is very pathetic at this point.
Because it didn't fully embody my character or my heart.
What is your character? Talking about men all day?
But that's something that I'm learning, right? As athletes, y'all have mastered that because you've done that your whole life.
To a certain extent, I think that the biggest thing that you have to go through is you have to understand self-identity.
Before we move forward there,
Let the guy talk.
how are you feeling with that? Because that is a big moment. Because I've been on shows before.
What a moron. Let the guy talk. Why wouldn't you let him talk? He was getting to a good point. But let's go back to Kayla. This podcast is terrible.
Where it was like the gotcha moment where your team say, hey, we're going to stay off topic here. We're not going to dive into this.
You just said about getting off topic. You just got off topic by interrupting the guy.
And then you get there and it's like, boom.
Yeah.
So that was just last week. How do you feel?
Wow. That dude was just talking to, I think it's Brandon Marshall. Maybe. I think it might be Brandon Marshall. No, but let's talk about Kayla again. This is what's wrong with the world.
I feel like I'm learning. You know, I'm trying to continue to have the courage to stand in my power, to be myself, to answer questions honestly and transparently. But I also think that media training and a little PR goes a long way.
You don't need to be asking and answering the questions. Move on. It's pathetic at this point. I'm embarrassed for you. And I'll get the comments from your fans and the feminists, like the one I got, you wouldn't piss on me if I was on fire. I don't want you to, because I've trashed you. I would be a phony if I took help if I was on fire. That was a comment I got. This is pathetic. This is worse than the Kayla interview. You are literally with two athletes doing this podcast, and you could be talking about the X's and O's or going, hey, I want to learn about football, but you're still talking about the haters because you have nothing. Nothing. It's crazy.
Because you don't have to answer every question. Like every comment or DM doesn't deserve a response. I'm learning that.
Here's my question to you.
You responded to me by blocking me.
I was going to say this about, do you feel like you're in a phase of self-discovery or do you know who you are?
Wow, the guy got to complete a sentence without being interrupted. Good job, podcast. You're learning.
I mean, we're always in a form of self-discovery, but like with the scoring, I'm diving deeper into who I am as an essence, but I know who I am. I'm just getting to know myself better.
I know who I am. Mm-hmm. I've done the work to figure out who I am. I think what I am discovering is the power of my words.
Duh. You dated the most famous football player. You have a little bit of pull. Now, what are you going to do with the pool? Are you going to keep talking about the haters over and over again? Or are you going to move on and do something original?
And the power of my influence. I don't think that I was aware of that before.
Right.
And
what influence do you have? You're famous. If anybody's influenced by you, they make bad decisions.
You know my personality is
Spicy.
Spicy.
You say spicy.
It's spicy.
Kind of bitchy. It's kind of like you're on your period 31 days a month.
And that can be perceived and received a million different ways.
Yeah, it comes off like the fact that you're a little narcissistic, you mean well, you're sensitive, and you just can't move on. Arguments with her? I bet she brings up something from 8 months ago. Hey, Travis. I bet she's really gullible too. I bet Travis is like, oh yeah, I have football practice Saturday night between 10 to 3 a.m. I'll be out. And she's like, okay. And she's at home watching Gilmore Girls while he's banging a side chick.
I thought that I handled things with grace.
You didn't. If you handled it with grace, you wouldn't talk about it anymore. You failed.
I thought that I answered the questions to the best of my ability. The public had their interpretation of things.
Oh, cry me a river. Grow up.
Didn't matter to me.
It didn't matter to you because you're talking about it. If it didn't matter to you, you wouldn't have to tell us that it didn't matter to you because it doesn't matter to you, but it does matter to you and it's driving you nuts because you're used to everybody kissing your ass. I've been there. I've worked on big radio shows. I leave. No one talks to me anymore. That's fine. When you leave popular situations, a lot of people, you see who your true friends are. Kind of like how Brittany Mahomes doesn't talk to you anymore. Move on. Move on. Move on. Move on.
My mom calls me though.
Oh, really?
And it's those conversations, like you said, that's what matters to me because she's offended.
Of course she is. She gave birth to you. She's going to have a bias. My mom thinks I'm the best podcaster, broadcaster of all time. I can still learn. I've overcome my stutter, blah, blah, blah. No one cares. My mom thinks I can do no wrong. Hearing from your mom is worthless. And my mom's probably listening and taking offense. I love you, Mom. I love all moms out there, but they give birth to us. We were in their body for 9 months. They created us. Of course they're going to be offended. You should never take advice from your mom. You should listen to your mom. But if you're hearing the same thing over and over again, there might be a little bit of truth to it.
She's hurt by the way people are perceiving her daughter. She's hurt at the negative headlines and
the negative headlines are coming because you're negative. All you do is talk about other men, and that's going to manifest with haters. If you talked about anything else, it would go away. But when you talk about it over and over again, you're manifesting negativity.
The way that people are spinning it.
We're not spinning anything. We're taking your words. Honey.
And even my mom was like, maybe next time we don't answer those questions. And it's as simple as that. Don't give it any energy. You don't have to always respond. And I've been on that soapbox for a long time.
All right, I've had enough of her. Kayla, you just keep giving us content. And I'm going to get the comments. Oh, you're so mean. She's mean too. People that run their mouth about other people don't like the taste of their own medicine.
Happy hour. Happy hour.